About 3/4 of the way through the book, I realized that The Outsiders from S.E. Hinton was actually a middle school novel. Yet, I had never read it before, and kept enjoying it for its easily digestible format and plot. For those of you who don't know, The Outsiders tells the story of interestingly named characters, such as our protagonist Ponyboy, his brothers Soda Pop and Daryl. Now, the three brothers were part of a greaser gang, which meant they were in for a lot of trouble more often than not. Ponyboy tells the exhilarating story of a week he had not long before he writes it down for a 150-page English assignment, the very book I'm talking about for my own English assignment, which I did not leave for the weekend it was due to start writing this very script. In the first couple pages of the book, Pony introduces the rivalry between the middle-class greasers and the Westsiders Sox, pronounced Soshs. Actually, he gets jumped by a Sosh gang almost immediately beginning the novel. Pony remembers the time when Johnny, one of the greasers, got jumped by the Soshs and got really injured, telling the reader that if Johnny ever got jumped again by a Sosh, he'd turn postal on them. Well, as these stories usually go, Pony was being drowned in a fountain by a Sosh, and Johnny happened to stab one of them to death. Long story short, Pony and Johnny got on a train and fled to the countryside, cut and bleached their hair, saved a couple kids from a burning church in the process, and returned in an ambulance after a mere 5 days of escape as heroes. I want to focus on the first two parts of the novel to talk about Two Bits Matthews, another one of the greasers. Pony doesn't miss a single chance to talk about him, mentioning him a total of 168 times in the novel. Throughout the whole book, Pony compares his and others' actions to those of Two Bits Matthew, and mentions how he does those things because Two Bits did him. He talks about Two Bits as a tough but super cheerful character, looking up to him at times. Now, this all matters because Two Bits isn't exactly a role model, or shouldn't be one for that matter. He drinks a fair amount of booze and gets into fights, as Pony says, for conformity. Nevertheless, Two Bits acts as a foil to Pony, as even when he isn't around, Pony constantly references him, emphasizing his own mistakes or good qualities. After their brilliant escape plan, Pony recalls asking a farmer for directions and remarks how good he was at lying. His brother told him it was because of all the books he read, but then thinking about it, Ponyboy realizes that that doesn't really make sense. Two Bits lies an excruciating amount, but he hasn't even opened a book in his entire life. Pony also mentions how glad he was that he got stuck with Johnny escaping murder rather than Two Bits, because at least Johnny thought of buying a bar of soap to wash himself. Two Bits keeps being mentioned in a good light throughout the novel, and sometimes is used to highlight some of the key facts of the plot, such as the newspaper headline, "Juvenile Delinquents Turn Heroes," after their return. At that point, Two Bits says, "What I like is a turn bit. Y'all were heroes from the beginning. It just didn't turn all of a sudden." Now, I thought this was super sweet and dandy and served as a perfect example for the purpose of Two Bits within the story. Two Bits serves as a moral ground, a crooked one that is, as he guides Pony through his feelings of angst just with his cheerfulness. After a lot of denial and newfound feelings, Pony finally accepts the fact that both Dallas and Johnny, two of the most important people in his life by this point, are actually dead. He realizes that he can be better than Daryl and Soda Pop, better than Dallas and, you guessed it, Two Bits. Thus, turning his writing into a never-ending loop, where coincidentally, about 3/4 of the way through the book, I realized that The Outsiders from S.E. Hinton was actually a middle school